So welcome back to Winter Home Practice Tips, and in this video we're going to be looking at strike on the putter, making sure you hit the ball right at the centre, and also looking at pace and a great little exercise that you can do to help you judge and work on your pace. So how do we get the ball coming at the centre of the putter? Well, you'll notice down here on the ground, again I've got the put out accessories. You can substitute these out for something you've got lying around your home, but effectively what I've done is I've set these just outside the toe and the heel, and I've left myself a relatively small gap just so that my putter head can actually move through there without making contact with either of them. Now if I hit a putt and hit this one, let's say out the heel, I'm going to get some feedback. Obviously the little bar on the outside of my putter moved, telling me that I hit that ball out the heel. As you can, I'm sure, imagine, the goal here is quite simply to hit putts and have those two red bars stay exactly where they are, and that gives me the confidence that I've hit that ball right at the centre of the putter. Now, as you're taking this little exercise, similar to what we said in the previous video, I'd love you to just keep a note, hit 10, 15, 20 putts, depending on the time that you've got, and just record how many are successful and how many are not successful. And if you start to remove either the outside barrier or the inside barrier, I don't really want you to overthink and start changing the distance of the ball or the stroke or the grip, because this is what we call a little constraints drill. There's some constraints there, and every time I do it incorrectly, I get some feedback. The bar's going to move. And over time, even if I'm not thinking of what I'm doing, if I'm not consciously changing my technique, I will start to self-right myself and be able to hit the center of the putter. And the goal would be, you know, in a month, 2 months down the line, you are hitting the center of the putter more often, but you couldn't really tell me or anybody else what you've done differently. You've just created an environment where you can learn and your skills can be developed. And that's really, really important. So set something up like this, keep a record of it. And again, each week, try and beat your own record. And if it's becoming a little easier, bring those parameters a little bit closer and make it a little bit more difficult for yourself. Now I'm quite lucky here that I use the Spider X putter. There's a lot of weight away from the face in these two areas here, which makes this putter incredibly stable. However, if you don't use this putter and use a different model, it's going to be twisting when you don't hit the center. And when it twists, the energy transferred to the ball is reduced, so we don't get the ball rolling the correct distance, and we compromise where the ball starts. So we lose direction and distance, and obviously those are two really important parts of putting. So this is an absolutely must-do exercise if you want to start the season putting better than you finished last season. Now all the best putters out there are just phenomenally skilled when it comes to controlling pace, and it's not often what we see in the amateur game. It's the one skill I think that golfers could improve on the most. It dictates kind of how much the ball breaks, and obviously too much pace or not enough pace, and we really limit our chances of holding it. So here's a great little exercise that you can do. I'm going to do this over a relatively short distance. If you've got more space, then great, use that. But you can sort of tailor this little exercise to suit your environment. We're going to use this line here as my starting point, and I'm going to use the put-out cup as my finishing point. So I'm creating almost like a box between those two. And the goal here is to hit putts, and every ball must travel past the previous ball, but stay and remain within that box. So if I hit my first putt and I get it up towards the end, that'll be one, but I've now got to hit my next putt past that ball, but stopping short of the cup. I might be able to do that, but probably 2 is going to be my best score. So the goal would be that your first putt goes just inside the box, and then your second putt goes a little further, and your third one, your fourth one. And there is no top score here, but you're just competing against yourself. Potentially your top score might be 3, but again, we can start to train that, we can start to work on that, and we can start to achieve 4, 5, 6. And as that number starts to go up, your confidence improves because you know that your ability to control the pace is a lot better. So let me go ahead and do this really quickly. First one is going to go just past the line. Okay, just going to move it a little bit to the side. There's 1. There's 2. Okay, and you can see how this would continue. I'm going to hit this one a little bit further, just so you haven't got to watch me hitting loads of putts, but third might be up there somewhere. Move it across. And then if I was to hit this next one outside of the box, so a little bit too much pace, like that, my score would be 3, 1, 2, 3. And there I've got my target that I need to improve at. next time. Really important that we have just great ability to control the pace. And what I'd really encourage you to do as you're doing that is try not to overthink. Certainly don't be thinking, you know, how far is the putter going back and am I accelerating through, or do I want the finish to be longer? Just look and react. You know, as you take your setup here, look at where you want that ball to finish, eyes back to the ball and go. And we want to try and make this relatively instinctive if we can. It's a much better way to putt. You know, the best putters out there that you see generally look relaxed and they are quite instinctive. Often the poorer putters at your golf club and, you know, maybe some of your playing partners, you'll see them over the ball for a long time, a lot of thoughts, almost a slow, deliberate backswing, and then trying to, you know, accelerate the putter through. They're never going to be the best at creating the right kind of pace. So that's a great little exercise. Monitor your practice, set yourself a personal best, and then each week try and beat it.